Now we are. Yes, Chairman.
Do it to it.
What is it again?
Everybody, yes.
Thanks, Aaron.
Good morning, everyone. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Trollman, has anyone signed up for public comment? Thank you, Mr. Trollman. Good morning, Ms. Miller.
Good morning, sir.
How are we today?
Very well, thank you.
We have no cases to reconsider under agenda item 3. Is that correct?
Correct, no cases.
Thank you. Let's go to tax liability cases under agenda item 4. I think we have one tax case on docket 11.
Yes, sir. It's case number TD 21-037-1121. Commissioner Demerson,
I agree with staff recommendation.
Commissioner Alvarez,
I agree with staff's recommendation.
and Mr. Chairman.
Agree with staff recommendation.
Thank you.
We have no fair housing cases under agenda item 5.
Correct, no cases.
Under agenda item 6, we have one wage claim case on docket 11 pulled for additional discussion.
Yes, sir. It's case number 21-055-047-0. Commissioner Demerson,
The AT decision is not supportable. The employer presented a firsthand witness who gave credible testimony that his company did not receive the initial determination until after the appeal deadline had already passed. That witness was the owner of the company, who said that as soon as the determination arrived, he forwarded it to his outside accountant. The letter of appeal sent by the accountant on December 1st, 2021 supports the employer's testimony regarding delayed receipt. This evidence is sufficient to establish delayed receipt of the initial determination, and since the appeal was filed within 8 days of the late receipt, the appeal should be considered timely. Accordingly, we should reverse the appeal tribunal decision. The employer filed a timely appeal, resubmit the case on the merits of the wage claim.
The decision is supportable. The order was mailed to the employer's address of record and the employer's registered agent. The employers provided inconsistent testimony regarding when they received the order. The employer has failed to provide persuasive evidence of non-receipt. Affirm late employer appeal, $1,200 wages owed.
Reverse the WCAT timely employer appeal, resubmit.
we will resubmit the case. So that was the only case pulled for additional discussion on docket 11. You should have received the wage claim short form dissent list for docket 11.
I move we accept staff recommendations on the remaining wage claim cases on docket 11.
I second the motion except for those cases of which I'm dissenting as reflected on the wage claim short form dissent list for docket 11.
I concur with the chairman's motion, except for the cases on which I'm dissenting as reflected in the wage claim short form dissent list for docket 11.
Motion passes with the exceptions noted. Let's move to agenda item 7, consideration of unemployment insurance cases, docket 11. Please proceed when you're ready.
Case number 2745066, Commissioner Alvarez.
The AT decision is not supportable. The underlying issue in this case is whether the claimant worked customary full-time hours. This case involves the issue of validity of claim and therefore falls within the exception to the timeliness rule 32I1. The claimant's AT appeal should be deemed timely and the case remanded to the AT to take merits testimony.
I agree with that. We should reverse the appeal tribunal decision on timeliness. The underlying issue in this case is that of customary full-time hours. This issue is covered under section 201.091 of the Act, which includes guidelines for determining whether someone is unemployed. Thus, customary full-time hours can be viewed as a validity of claim issue. Since cases falling under the validity of claim category create a one-time exception to the timeliness rules, we should find the claimant's appeal timely and remand the case to the appeal tribunal for merits testimony.
Reverse the AT timely claim and appeal, remand.
Thank you. We have unanimous decision.
Case number 2812954, Commissioner Demerson.
We should modify the appeal tribunal decision. First, I do not contest the good cause issue. Concerning the job separation, the claimant was terminated when he failed to meet the employer's job expectations once he was authorized to work from home. The employer informed the claimant about his performance deficiency and was advised that his job was in jeopardy if his performance did not improve. Although the claimant previously met the employer's job expectations, the record suggests that the claimant was engaged in personal affairs during work hours, which rendered him not meeting the employer's job expectations. Since the claimant was once able to meet the employer's job demands, but thereafter failed to meet the employer's standards, the claimant's conduct was mismanagement of his position and constituted misconduct connected with the work. Hence, we should modify the appeal tribunal decision. The claimant had good cause for missing the AT1 hearing, misconduct, no chargeback, adequate employer response issue.
The appeal tribunal decision regarding the separation is not supportable. Regarding the good cause, the claimant testified that he could not attend the initial scheduled hearing because he was in training for a new job. Therefore, he established good cause for failing to appear at that hearing. Regarding the separation, the employer discharged the claimant for not being responsive and not performing his duties, but the claimant denied the allegations in sworn testimony. The employer provided no direct evidence to support the allegations, nor any documentation that the employer had ever counseled the claimant about problems with his work. Therefore, the employer has failed to show the claimant committed misconduct. Modify the modify the appeal tribunal, good cause, no misconduct, chargeback.
Modify the AT, claimant established good cause for AT1, no misconduct, chargeback.
Short form dissent.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Jefferson.
Case number 2897818, Commissioner Alvarez.
The appeal tribunal's decision regarding the separation is not supportable and it should be modified. Regarding good cause, I agree that the claimant did not establish good cause for failing to appear at the initial scheduled hearing, but the facts available to the first appeal tribunal support qualification. I agree that the claimant filed a valid claim for benefits. Regarding the separation, the claimant asked his supervisor about the coworker's possibility receiving disability benefits, and then asked if he would get disability if hurt. The supervisor corrected the claimant's error about the coworker, and then inappropriately asked the claimant whether he would intentionally hurt himself to get disability. The claimant replied that he would do whatever he had to do to protect himself. While the claimant's response could have been more constructive, he did not challenge his supervisor, nor did he threaten to violate any policy. The claimant's statement did not rise to the level of insubordination, and it was not misconduct. Modify the appeal tribunal, no good cause, valid claim, no misconduct, tax governmental employer, void adequate response.
We should modify the AT decision. First, concerning the good cause issue, the claimant provided conflict in testimony for missing the AT1 hearing. Although the claimant initially alleged that he did not receive the AT1 hearing notice, he thereafter amended his statement and explained that he had received the notice in time, but he could not attend the hearing because he was busy and did not have time to read or understand the contents of the hearing packet. Since the claimant failed to provide credible testimony that he failed to attend the AT1 hearing due to circumstances beyond his control, the claimant did not establish good cause for missing the hearing. Second, I do not contest the validity of claim issue. And third, concerning the job separation, the claimant was repeatedly warned and was on final note warning for insubordination. The claimant was terminated when he threatened to intentionally hurt himself to obtain disability benefits. Since the claimant was warned that his job was in jeopardy, but thereafter continued to act inappropriately at the workplace, the claimant conduct constituted misconduct connected with the work. Hence, we should modify the AT decision. Claimant did not have good cause for missing the AT1 hearing, valid initial claim, misconduct, tax governmental employer, server, the adequate employer response, and then a memo to UIA and OS to investigate the claimant's unreported earnings.
Modify the AT, claimant did not establish good cause for AT1, valid claim, misconduct, tax governmental employer, sever adequate response, memo in accordance with staff recommendation.
Short form dissent.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Alvarez.
Case number 2912214, Commissioner Demerson.
The appeal tribunal decision should be affirmed. The claimant quit his job due to dissatisfaction with working conditions. Since the claimant initiated the job separation, in this case, the claimant has the burden of establishing good cause connected with the work to quit. The claimant contended that he was working in the vicinity of toxic sludge and the job had to be completed on the same day. However, the employer rebutted the claimant's contentions by stating that there was nothing hazardous and that the employer had no issue with the claimant taking breaks since there was no time limit on the job. As such, the claimant has not met his burden in establishing good cause connected with the work for quitting, and we should affirm the AT decision. Voluntary leaving, no chargeback.
The appeal tribunal decision should be reversed. The claimant worked as a backhoe operator. He was working in the summer at a chemical spills cleanup site. The backhoe's windows were broken, and he testified that the air conditioning was not working. The employer testified that he knew the windows were broken and that there was a strong odor in the spill area. When the claimant told the employer that he was becoming sick, the employer did not correct the issue, but instead effectively threatened the claimant's job, stating that he could find someone else to do the work. The claimant again returned to work in the backhoe, but he became sick again. The employer's refusal to correct a known dangerous working condition that was making the claimant sick constituted good cause connected with the work for the claimant to quit. Reverse the appeal tribunal, no voluntary leaving, chargeback.
Affirm the AT, voluntary leaving, no chargeback.
Short form dissent.
I have your short form dissent, Commissioner Alvarez.
Case number 3033958, Commissioner Emerson.
We should reverse the appeal tribunal decision on timeliness. The employer credibly and persuasively testified that it did not receive the job separation determination in this case. The determination that the employer did receive for remuneration issue stated that the chargeback did not apply. The employer learned of the chargeback in question when the tax rate notices were issued. The employer quickly took action and contacted TWC to rectify the matter. After calls with the TWC representative, the employer was finally instructed to file an appeal. Thus, because the employer did not receive the determination in question and reached out to TWC shortly after learning of the chargeback, we should deem the employer's appeal timely and resubmit the case for merits testimony.
The AT decision should be affirmed. The determination was mailed to the employer's correct address of record on February 3rd, 2020. The employer filed a late appeal because they misunderstood whether their tax account would be charged, even though the determination clearly stated that the account wouldn't be charged. The employer did not attempt to contact the commission to clarify their clarify their understanding until June of 2021, and did not file their appeal until August 26th of 2021. As the employer's appeal was due by February 18, 2020, their appeal date dated August 26, 2021 was clearly late. Since there is no good cause exception to the timeliness rule, the commission should dismiss the appeal as untimely. The underlying determination should be left in full force and effect. No misconduct, charge the employer's account.
Reverse the AT, timely employer appeal, resubmit.
You will resubmit the case.
Case number 3044608, Commissioner Alvarez.
The AT decision should be modified. The claimant was discharged due to attendance. The final incident was a series of tardiness in early January of 2021. The claimant's tardiness in early January of 2021 was caused by the concussion he previously sustained at work. He was too dizzy to drive and was late as a result. He has provided medical documentation as evidence that demonstrates he still is suffering from the effects of the injury in early January 2021. His tardiness was due to a medical condition and should not be disqualifying. Modify the AT, no misconduct, no chargeback due to MBI, void adequate response ruling.
We should modify the AT decision. The claimant was aware of the employer's policy, which dictated that repeated no call, no shows would be grounds for termination. On his final day of work, the claimant failed to contact his supervisor to report his tardiness. Since the claimant was on final warning for his attendance and thereafter continued to violate the employer's attendance policy, the claimant's conduct constituted misconduct connected with the work. Furthermore, an MVI is improper in this case. The claimant provided conflicting testimony about his final absence. Although the claimant testified that his final tardiness was due to a medical condition, the claimant's fact-finding statements allege that he was late to work due to an accident. Since the claimant violated the employer's policy and moreover provided conflicting testimony about the final incident, we should modify the AT decision, misconduct, no chargeback, sever adequate employer response issue.
Modify the AT, no misconduct, no chargeback, MBI, void adequate response.
Short form dissent.
I have your dissent, Commissioner Demerson.
Case number 3054938, Commissioner Alvarez.
The AT decision is not supportable. The claimant was a truck dispatcher, and she emailed trucker complaints to her supervisor who did nothing in response. The claimant then CC'd the complaints to her supervisor's supervisor because they were not being addressed. There is nothing in the record establishing any employer rule that prohibited the claimant from sending trucker complaints to her supervisor's supervisor. Her supervisor became angry and basically fired the claimant in retaliation. The employer did not provide testimony at the AT hearing, and the claimant credibly established that she was not insubordinate or unprofessional to the supervisor. The claimant's actions did not constitute misconduct connected with the work. Reverse AT, no misconduct, void chargeback.
We should affirm the appeal tribunal decision. The claimant received instructions to send trucker complaints to her supervisor. By choosing to send the complaints to senior management, the claimant failed to follow instructions and mismanaged her position of employment. We should affirm the AT decision, misconduct, void the chargeback ruling.
No misconduct, void chargeback.
Short form dissent.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Demerson.
Case number 3059965, Commissioner Alvarez.
The decision should be affirmed. The claimant filed a valid claim because she had a reduction in hours and earned less than 125% of her weekly benefit amount, which meets the definition of partially unemployed. Regarding the job separation, the claimant was working 48 hours a week, but her hours had been reduced to 23 hours per week when she filed her initial claim. As the claimant had a reduction in hours due to business needs, she should be qualified for benefits. Affirm the AT, valid claim, no misconduct, chargeback.
We should modify the AT decision. First, I do not contest the validity of claim issue concerning the job separation in the home health care industry. The employment relationship continues until either party clearly notifies the other party that the employment relationship is ended. Since the employment relationship can continue when no work is performed or when no wages are earned, the claimant initiated the separation when she filed her initial claim for unemployment benefits. Since the claimant had continued work that was available at the time of her separation, the claimant quit without good cause connected with the work. Therefore, we should modify the AT decision, valid initial claim, voluntary leaving, no chargeback, adequate employer response, then a memo to investigate the claimant's additional separation during the week ending November 7th, 2020.
Modify the AT, valid claim, voluntary leaving, no chargeback, adequate employer response memo in accordance with staff recommendation.
Short form dissent.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Alvarez. And that was the last unemployment insurance case pulled for additional discussion on docket 11. You should have received the UI short form dissent list for docket 11.
I move to accept staff recommendations on the remaining UI cases on docket 11.
I second the motion except for those cases on which I'm dissenting as reflected on UI short form dissent list for docket 11.
I concur with the chairman's motion, except for those cases on which I'm dissenting as reflected in the UI short form dissent list for docket 11.
Motion passes with the exceptions noted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other order of business come before the commission? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair, I have one order
Yeah.
of business. I wanted to commend and recognize Commissioner Alvarez. He'll be recognized tomorrow by Senator Lucio, and I think it's an amazing accomplishment to be recognized for the outstanding work that the agency is doing. But Commissioner Alvarez and his position is being recognized on behalf of the agency for all that he's been doing, and I think that's commendable. I wanted to take this time to recognize that.
Thank you, Commissioner. That means a lot coming from you. I'm humbled by the recognition by my senator, and I'm very humbled by not only the acknowledgement but I also am just letting you know that I'm receiving this recognition on behalf of the great work that this agency has done for the last 6 years while I've been here. So thank you.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you,
Very
Chairman.
well earned. Is there any other order of business? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Chairman, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Been moved, seconded to adjourn. We're adjourned.